In this particular event, we're right on the fringes with the upper levels. In fact, Ross is showing, this is the GFS model, and that's showing a combination of snow, sleet, and freezing rain actually getting into the area with a north wind. Now that's 5 to 6 days out.
And these are going to be very steep gradients when you're talking about who sees rain and who might potentially see winter precipitation. The difference between 5-10 miles can make a world of difference. So just for example, you're talking strictly Duval County. You live up at the airport, you might see freezing rain. Whereas if you live either downtown or on the south side, you might just get a cold rain that Tim was talking about. So it's not just a stamp it down, everyone's going to see this or everyone's going to see this. I think it really will depend on how the system lines up, and where you just happen to live will dictate, what kind of precipitation you might see from this, Tim. Right?
And totally agree. And I think it's going to be accentuated because I do also think we're going to have some moisture coming in from the ocean. So the ocean is going to moderate those surface temperatures. So it could be that folks, for instance, east of I-95, that maybe it's briefly cold enough for snow and or sleet, but because the winds are coming in off the ocean temperature sitting at 55 to 60 degrees, there's going to be enough of a thick layer down the lower few thousand feet to where then that will melt on the way down. Whereas the west side and the north side of Duval, and we're not saying they're exactly going to have it, but just to give you an example, whereas it could be the west and north side do get some both freezing rain and sleet. At this point, I would put the chances of frozen precipitation below 10% if you're in Duval, along the beaches, or in St. Johns and Flagler County. I would say...
Would you toss Clay in there too?
Right along the river, but I wouldn't be surprised if... See, to me, here's another big question that develops, is does the cold air stay in place? In other words, the northeast wind, even though the models do better now than they used to, I still think the models tend to push that northeast wind against the cold air, we call it a cold wedge, a little too fast. And I think that damming occurs closer to the coast. So yeah, maybe right along the river, but I'm not nearly as confident that Clay County is going to be all liquid.
The Europeans getting a little
aggressive.
Now
we're here. Showing some crazy computer models here. So we should probably talk about what those colors mean. So the deeper blues is pretty much snow and sleet, right?
And primarily snow. Yeah, the darkest bluish purple color is kind of moving into the sleet, and really just the pink color is considered just a mix in this color palette. So a mix can be rain and snow, it can be freezing rain, it can be sleet. So it's kind of the pink is a gray area here of almost saying we don't really know what exactly it's going to be yet.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. To me, the main reason we're talking about this is that there's a significant chance, and therefore it makes sense to talk about it. We're not saying it simply to hype it up. But yeah, I have no problem myself saying that that especially over northeastern Florida, this is a very iffy event. But I do think the chances are high enough to at least think about icy bridges for those of you in Ware, Pierce, Brantley, and Charlton counties. That's a great 3D graphic right there.
When we were talking about the temperature profile, I think this is...
You could talk about overrunning there too.